helpful, quick financial advice.
Ooh.
So this
Oh,
so
taxes.
two things specifically. It's not advice necessarily, but it's two things I'd recommend. So let's go on script here, Cullen. To put it bluntly, one day you're gonna get old, and you will have wanted to have saved up a retirement fund for yourself at that point in time. So my personal recommendation for Americans listening today, and something I did really early, right out of college, just because I saw it online and I saw like every single like online financial resource saying the same things because it's like easy, effective, and the way you should do stuff would be to invest in a Roth IRA or independent retirement account. Without getting into too much explicit detail, because I am not technically a certified financial advisor, I'm just some dickhead on the internet. A Roth IRA is an account, or is the easiest way to become a millionaire by the time you're old. All you have to do is defer a portion of your income every month and begin saving for when you reach retirement age. I've got a whole, picture here right on screen, but I don't want to sit here and like explain all of it. There's a lot of benefits to the after tax money you'd be withdrawing and how your current value of money is getting taxed and whatnot. But if you just think about a retirement account in the most basic form, whether you have a job or not, like you can still invest in a Roth IRA. You just defer a little bit of money each month, and it's basically just like long-term investment. You literally just put it into account, you forget about it, and by the time you're old, you basically will have, quadrupled, if not, quintupled, whatever the 10th value of that is, like your money, right?
Well,
Because it's just retirement funds. And the Roth IRA is the most beneficial and personally my number one of all
I'm
those
gonna
choices
say
that aren't.
something. I'm gonna say
Oh,
something that might upset you.
yeah, go for
This
it.
this is by default what every British company that hires you has to do for you.
Yeah. However, I was actually going to mention this, but I actually would prefer this system. I
What,
want
you
to
can opt
clarify.
in? You can opt out of that one.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, even though companies in the UK allow you to do this, at the same time, you are limited to how much money you can receive in your older age, in
That's true.
retirement. So you can't really become a millionaire off of the system
Well, no,
in the
that's it's
UK.
pretty much the same system. You are on a fixed income with most of these retirement savings plans, and
Oh, so you get like a
you get a
payback every
monthly
month.
stipend every month. I'm
Mm.
not
Honestly, the
sure if you can withdraw like a lot of them, but a lot of Roth IRAs are through companies that will put you on very fixed specific incomes because they need to be able to
Yeah.
plan for how much each of their accounts is going to cost them.
Mm.
Okay. All right. So then, yeah, similar to
that
the UK
Yeah.
system. Yeah.
sorry, that sounds more like a traditional pension
And
because
ag-
like at least for me, the person like the Roth IRA stuff is all personally done.
Oh, I could
So
be
like
mixed
like
up then.
I got very lucky. My internship actually gave supported retirement plans.
mhm.
So obviously I live at home and all that, so I could put a majority of my paycheck towards that. But that was basically, at least for me, it was you can put in as much as you want. You can
Hmm,
retire, you can pull it out as soon as you want, and it'll be tax free. But there's just no benefit to doing so until you're retired.
No, there's
interesting.
And then
big, massive downsides to
Yeah.
pulling out retirement money early. Like if you don't
Yeah.
want the money
exactly,
to go to retirement, don't put it in a retirement account. Just put it into a savings account or a growth account or
exactly, yeah,
something.
Yeah.
Again,
An
I'm not
yeah,
a
ISA,
certified
exactly,
financial
savings.
advisor. It's just advice I learned over
yeah.
the
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
So
same. So then
take
for
my
me,
advice with a
like,
grain of salt.
yeah, so like I'm 22. If I retire 65, it has 43 years in the stock market to grow
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
compared
that's a lot.
to, yeah. But the main difference, like from what I understand, the pension is entirely company funded, whereas this is still it's technically your money that you put aside.
No,
So it's
there's
up
like
to you how much you put away for it.
there's a in at least in the UK. I don't know if the Ireland might be
BRB.
different. There is like the pension scheme involves you putting away a certain amount of your income and the company to a degree matching that
Yeah,
to
Okay.
like
and
a
we
point.
have employers that
Yeah.
match retirement savings
That's
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
That's like that's like the 401k in the US.
Yeah.
But that's just default everywhere.
Yeah, but
Well,
Yeah.
does the US have like a maximum payout every
Yeah.
this is
does like
stuff that I didn't research for this part of the presentation. The only part I was going to comment on is how above all of the retirement accounts, because when you work with a company, like I have multiple 401ks from previous jobs, like before I was even in college, like I
Mhm.
opened up like a retirement account with the company I used to work for. Then post college, same thing. And I've got them all consolidated into one for essentially like 401k account. It functions differently from a Roth IRA for just how the money is taxed and how it grows and everything else. But
Yeah.
my vague understanding of it is just a Roth is one that you can open up yourself. Mine's not tied to a company, it's tied to a financial firm that I use to basically defer, a set amount every single month to then just grow and then eventually be withdrawn tax free. I was just saying that as a suggestion because you can do this no matter what.
No, it's
Based
a great
on
thing to do. My
yeah,
my
it's
thing
just
is that
something
you
that's
should
smart to do. Like if you like
Yeah.
saving money, there's no reason for that money to just be sitting in a bank account and doing nothing when that money that
1,000,000%.
you can just say forget about it can grow and multiply over the course of years,
At
right?
the
If
end of
you invest
every
in the right
year,
funds.
I put my savings into like an ISA, like a 1-year ISA that where I don't touch it, and it will get like.
Mhm.
Last year was like 8%. This year I think it was like 4 or 6% on top of
Yeah.
it. And then it ends at the end of that year, and then I put it into another ISA of a similar kind, and I try to look around for the best rates on those ISAs, specifically for that, because a lot of my saving money is just there because it's like, oh, this hopefully one day could be a house or something like that. So I'm not
Mhm.
using it for like a day-to-day spending. That's my current account. I try to budget for that, and then all the money that you're never trying to use or trying to actively save should not just be sitting in one of these accounts. You should be using it to kind of sit around and make you more money by kind of investing it, or like letting the bank kind of just have that money for a bit because you're not using it. And you still can withdraw it if you do need it, but it's there.
Damn, imagine
Exactly.
having savings.
Yeah. So the trick with it. Well, hold on, I already exited out of my presentation. Forget the money exists, let that shit grow, and
Exactly.
boom, you've got money to ride out the rest of your life. Like
Mhm.
effectively at retirement age for the Roth IRA. So highly recommend it to Americans listening in.
Yeah.
To translate to like UK audience, just pay your voluntary national insurance. And
Yeah.
you're good.
Do your national insurance.
Glad we have
Do
a
a pension.
translator on standby because I have no clue what that means.
It's
So-
just pay your taxes, which you don't have to actively think about doing either.
I can't
It's not even
believe
that-
you segued into my next slide.
What's funny
I-
about national insurance? It's not just taxes; it's taxes on top of taxes. But what it means is, if you pay it for 30 years, you'll get a salary every month, or barely a salary every month, just to keep you going until you die.
One of the before you even get into this, Cullen, I'm just gonna say the best advice I can give anybody is file your own taxes because it's piss easy. Don't pay
Fuck
someone.
off! You're literally spoiling
I'm
my
sorry.
presentation.
Hey, everyone shut up. Let Colin cook.
I have a whole section on this. So yeah, just literally pause for like 30 seconds and I'll let you continue because the next section I have, which I'll read on my script, how did I write this? Speaking of money, taxes are a concept that will always be attached to your money. So it's important that you take care of that as well. Again, just for the Americans listening, since Freedom Land makes us calculate our own taxes, if your income is below a certain threshold, you are able to file your taxes for free. And that being said, mini story time. Years ago, I got scammed by TurboTax and paid I'm reading the script wrong. I got scammed by TurboTax and paid to have my taxes done because I didn't know how anything worked. If you use a program like TurboTax, even if your income is below the I don't know what it was in that year and I forget what it's at now,
$14,000
income threshold. Yeah, like even if it is below a certain amount, their program, the way it's set up, will not tell you that. So the first time I did my taxes when I was working with a company, like I still paid like God knows how much, like $50 or $100 just to use the service because they try to upsell you where it's like, oh, you want to use the guided solutions or use this and that. So you're getting the best quality service possible. And being a naive kid that never did their taxes on their own, up until, I aged out of my, parents' accounting, whatever setup that they had, or they just canceled it. I don't remember. I basically got scammed by them for something I could have done for free. So fuck TurboTax. In my personal experience, TaxSlayer is the best free program that has no bullshit tied to it. The representatives are fantastic. If you ever have questions, I sat in like a 30-minute phone queue and asked like 20 questions, I think, and literally basically just had the lady do my taxes alongside me. Like I was already 70% done, but I had a ton of questions. Super helpful, worked well. Of the dozen or so programs I've tried and used over the years, TaxSlayer has been the most reliable. So as long as their service is still free at the time of this recording and posting wherever on whatever platform, they're my favorite. And come April, I'm literally using them again because like I had no problems and they're fucking phenomenal. Hashtag ad.
If I can add to this, two things. One, if you have a basic ass part-time job, like if you're in the target demographic watching this video, 18 to 25, You've got a part-time job that's paying you like, $600-700 every 2 weeks. You literally will not make the threshold for paying taxes, which means
Exactly, yeah.
when tax return season comes around, you will get 100% of what you have paid in taxes back into your bank account. If you have just the one job, honestly, like filing your taxes is as simple as pulling up the sheet on the I can't even remember who is it, the IRS, pulling up the IRS duplicate copy of your W-2. I don't remember which.
W-2 is your like work form, like work tax
the
form.
one
If you
that-
have like the full work tax, you have
Yeah.
there's a few. You guys have too many forms that are just shouldn't be
It's-
forms.
Yes. But it's as simple as you get a copy of your income from your work in January. Usually, workplaces tend to send that out pretty early, and you pull up the IRS website. You tell them how much you made, how much you were taxed, and if you are below the threshold, you will get an automatic refund of everything that you were charged. And if you're above that threshold, you're still going to get a tax return. So just my recommendation is file it yourself and file it as early as possible, because you don't want money that you could be using sitting around somewhere. Like, to go back to your point about IRAs, I have known so many people who their savings plan is literally just invest their tax return, because it's money that was already pulled out of their bank account. They never saw it
That's a
in their
smart way to think
budget.
about it.
And then you can just invest it directly into a savings account or an IRA. That money will start to multiply and you never even saw it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like hypothetical float money. Like if it's already being tossed around like a fucking frisbee, like might as well do something productive with it, because you're never going to see it for personal use, right? Until it comes back into your account. So I like that mentality a lot.
What's the tax threshold in the U.S. like?
It changes
$14,000.
every year.
It's been
I think.
$14,000 for a while. It's basically it's the limit to how much you are allowed to gift someone before it becomes income.
Wait,
and it's
How much is
14,000.
it?
14000.
14000. I think
What's the value that changes then every year? The value that changes is how much you can defer into a retirement account. Never mind. I'm confusing numbers now. As you can see, as Americans do, because we have to calculate our own shit all the fucking time.
Yeah, that's the great thing, is that I looked this up once. We're the only country in the world that has tax returns, and I'm still trying to figure out what the justification is, because I understand that the government's budget is not fixed and can be adjusted, but also how
I have a slide
hard-
for the motivation for why there's a tax industry.
Well,
I have
yeah,
it.
but at the same time, like, why do we do it in a way that could incur fees and jail time when they could just do it correctly and make the amount of money that they've budgeted for, instead of the government having to also account for all of the tax returns they have to issue? Like, that has to cost a measurable amount of money.
I like
Gerrymandering, lobbying. I don't know.
The crazy
Capitalism.
thing is, they already know how much money you earn.
Yeah. That's the meme. It's like it's like, we know
Yes.
how much money you make. You have to report it. If you get like a cent wrong, yeah, jail time, buddy.
Well, if you get a cent wrong, it gets sent back to you to then correct. Like, it's like your fucking teacher being like, you got one question wrong in the multiple choice, but not telling you which one it is.
Yeah.
It's fucking yeah. All right. I guess this is a rant video.
I do strongly recommend, if this is some real bare bones. If you're like me and you're scrappy,
School scrappy.
if you have multiple jobs, try and ensure that one of them does not exceed the tax threshold. For me, that would be Swag Academy. My income from working on this project and getting paid for my freelance work does not exceed a taxable threshold, so it's basically just spending money because I don't have to worry about it being declared as income.
It's my affluent Australian cousin who likes to give me money every month.
And
Think of it like that.
I send him videos because I like him.
Exactly. It's gift exchanges
So
at that
just
rate. Like, it's not even worth.
I won't lie, that would not fly in the UK.
Oh, how
Well,
is
this
it
is
in-
freedom land. It's the wild, wild west.
Well, no,
Over
because
£1,000, they're like, you do have to declare that.
yeah,
This is
that's
no longer just a thing.
That's the thing, is that you can have
You have to declare it as an income.
You can have undeclared income. What's really hilarious is that on your tax income sheets, one of the things that is like a fillable form that you can declare is bribes that you received. because they still need to get taxed.
Imagine paying taxes. That's pretty funny.
Give it 4 more years and all of this will be different.
Give
Surely.
it 4 more years and all of this will be gone.
Yeah, or that,
That's
or
your
completely
the
dismantled.
thing I was sitting on during your IRA section was just like, hey, that assumes that we will have banks when we retire. That's a bold assumption.
Yeah, or well, I'm not worried about banks so much. Aren't they just getting rid of pensions? Yeah, no. I'm gonna axe this conversation. Like it's just, ugh. It's a wormhole.
I'm sorry that you
tornado.
opened
Just-
yourself up to money talk, Cullen.